So usually I show the deck tech first and then I show the gameplay. But I've been writing this one up and I realized like nothing I say will make sense unless I just show you the gameplay first. So I'm going to show you a couple games first and then we'll talk about the deck afterwards because then it'll make a lot more sense for you guys. So let's get into the games. So going into the first game, we got a little bit of Zen on Zen crime. I won the die roll and I actually always choose to go first because Bond Zen is actually a graveyard deck. So I like to use the turn 0 as a time that I can fill my graveyard with some combo cards and maybe set up an arsenal to set up a big 5-card power turn. So starting hand, I have a Descendant and a Bonds, which is literally perfect. Almost can't get better than that. Maybe if we had a Fluster, but I'm not complaining. So we swing both of them just to get them into my graveyard. Opponent blocks all the damage like they should since it's turn 0. And then I arsenal this Transcend card. So perfect turn 0 for us. We pass it to them. On to their turn. We draw into the Holy Grail of Ninja Hands. So I start spamming the pass button because I'm not blocking shit. They go Roar of the Tiger, Head Leads Tail, Send the Stick, Send the Tiger, and even Assault the Wound, leaving us at 27. So like really good turn from them. I threw my Boots block in there because it's going to give us a free draw off of one of our Art of Wars from that Tiger token. And then they pass back to us. So over on our turn, lead off with the Harmony, banishing a red Flusterfist. Harmony is also going to be a blue card, so that's going to turn on our Transcend. So now I'm going to cast the Passover to banish the only combo card out of their graveyard, just in case they run Bonds as well. This then transcends, turns it into a Chi, which gives us a resource from our chess piece. I now use that resource to cast the first Art of War, banishing the Tiger I made from my Boots. This draws us into a Shift and an Aspect. So here you have to cast the Shift, pitching the Chi exactly to get the Tigers in hand. But since I don't have a Bonds in hand, I don't want to risk playing it and then Art of War not drawing into the Bonds. So I use it as pitch instead to cast our second Art of War, banishing the blue Flusterfist from our hand. Here, there's actually an argument to be made that maybe I should Zen first with the Chi to make another Tiger in hand and banish that to the Art of War, which will essentially draw us an extra card. But again, it's risky because I don't know exactly what I need to search for until I see my draws off of the Art of War. So I do it this way, we cast it, hoping to draw into either a Gust Wave or a Bonds, which we have 18 of in our deck, and we do, nice. So now we just got to sequence this correct, so pay attention. I'm going to lead off with Biting Breeze for 5. This threatens a Tiger, so the opponent actually has to block this, which they do. This lets me now combo the Aspect in my hand, which makes a Tiger in the banish for this turn. Opponent blocks 3 of it, taking 3 down to 37. I then close the chain to put the Aspect into my graveyard, and attack with the Descendant for 4. Opponent takes that 4 down to 33. I then pitch the Chi to activate Zen, search out a red Bonds, and create a Tiger in my hand. We attack with the Bonds for 7, go again, banishing the Aspect from the grave that we just played, letting us tutor another Aspect from our deck. Opponent blocks with Domain, which was turned on from their Boots this turn. Really cool interaction, but takes 2, down to 31. Now, since we tutored the red Bonds, this makes the Aspect live, so attack for 6, go again, making another Tiger in our banish. They only have a Tiger in hand, so now they can't block the rest of the turn. They're down to 25. Now we go 3 Tiger tokens for 7 all up, thanks to the Art of War buffs and the Shuko trigger. And then we finish off with a Fluster for 7, putting them down to 11 through their whole hand blocked. And so that was a 42 damage turn all up on turn 2, but keep watching, keep watching. We pass it to the opponent, they just arsenal the Tiger token and then pass it back. So back on our turn, main thing on my mind is just setting up another 5-card hand. And this is the power of Zen. You have so many power turn enablers in your deck, like the shifts. So it's pretty hard to not find one of them. And if you don't find one of them, then your turn's just going to be strong anyway. So what I do with this hand is I'm actually going to pitch the red Fluster to attack with Descendant for 3. They take it down to 8. Then we attack with Bonds for 3, banishing a red Fluster from graveyard. They take that down to 5. Then we attack with the Fluster that we got from the Bonds for 4. Perfectly fine 3-card 10 while setting up a shifts into our arsenal, and then we pass it to them. So 5-card hand on their side, but again, I'm not blocking shit, start spamming that pass button. They start off with Head Leads Tail again for 3. Harmony of the Hunt for 3, make a Tiger token. Tiger token comes in for 1 and then they maul it, so now it's 4 and make 2 more Tiger tokens. Tiger for 2, which I block with the Traverse to draw a Chi from my deck, and then they have 2 more Tiger tokens for 1 each, and I end up on 15. But yeah, as you can see, the Tiger token 5-card hand ain't got shit on the Bonds one, so now they just pass it back to us. Over on our turn, we got a 6-card hand, and it's filled with some random looking shit, you're probably thinking. But let me show you how busted this hand is. So I lead off with Harmony. The banish misses, but you don't care. It's still going to be a 0 for 6 blue that enables Transcend. So now we play Rising Sun, draw a card, put a card to the bottom. We draw into a Descendant and bottom the Biting because it's not a combo card, so it's not going to get buffed by the Harmony. And then here you actually have to choose no to the chess piece so that we can pitch the Chi itself to the shifts, because that's the only way that you can actually make the 2 targets from the hand. You can't do it off of floating, even if the floating is from a Chi. So we do just that, and then it gives us 2 targets in our hand, which we can name anything we want. So attack with the first one for 0, and we just name it one of the Gust Waves. Now we're going to pitch the second Chi in our hand to Zen, grabbing our bonds and creating another target token in hand, and then we attack with the bonds. So thanks to the shifts, this made our bonds live, so attack for 5 now, banishing the next bonds out of our graveyard. Opponent blocks 5, then we attack with the next target for 1, thanks to our Shukos, naming it a Gust Wave again. Opponent blocks that as well, so now the bonds in our banish is live again, so attack with that and banish the next bonds. Opponent has to block here. Then I attack with the real Descendant. Opponent blocks that too. Then we attack with another live bonds, banishing another bonds, which the opponent can't block, so they just concede. But we were going to go another target into another bonds. Bonds vanish, 100 wins. 100 wins into Chase the Tail at the end, which is just another 30 damage turn. Thanks to shifts bonds. Bro, I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh at this point. Bonds Zen is literally just playing Yu-Gi-Oh. It's illegal. But it was a pretty high rolly game. I just wanted to show the power of shifts and like what your power turns actually look like. But we'll go into another game, a less high rolly one. So second game here, we're up against a Kasai. I think they put us first, which happens because people don't realize that we're actually a graveyard deck and I want to go first. But again, our first hand is perfection. We attack with the Descendant and the bonds just to get them into our graveyard like before. And since the bonds is blue, we can actually transcend off of the Stir the Pot. That's going to gain us a resource. So now we can stick them, activate the Zen to create a Tiger token, and search out a red Flusterfist. I just grabbed the red Fluster because I actually just want it in my graveyard. Like, that's the only reason. But looking back at it now, I should just grab the blue Flusterfist since that's my game plan and save the red one for a real turn. But that's okay. So pass to them. Only thing on my mind is Arsenal a power card for a massive 40 damage turn like we did in our previous game. So they attack here. I have to decide if I want to Arsenal the Harmony or the shifts. I think it's always correct to Arsenal the Harmony in this specific spot because you want to draw into another Transcend along with block with your helmet for your shifts turn. So there's some risk if I don't draw a Transcend, it might end up awkward, but I was still trying to limit test the shifts here during this game. So I say no blocks, take 2 down to 38. Then when they attack again, I block for 3 with the Ancestral with the intention to Arsenal the shifts, just because again, I'm trying to limit test. Then they cast in the swing, so we take another 2 down to 36 and they pass to us. Our turn, just a simple stick into Descendant. Opponent blocks the Gust Wave, so a tied game, both at 36. We Arsenal the shifts like planned and then pass to them. So once again, we draw up and I'm betting you don't realize that shifts makes this a 30 damage turn. But Kasai swings for 2, so no blocks. We save our helmet for the next attack. So we take 2 down to 34. They attack for 4 next, and then we use our Traverse here, grabbing the Chi out of our deck that we made on turn 0. We then take 2 down to 32, and they pass to us. Okay, pay attention, my students. Sensei Tog will show you the power of the shifts. So first, we pitch the Chi to shifts in order to make 2 tigers in our hand, and letting us name all the tigers and anything we want until the end of turn. Shifts is also a blue, so that's going to let us cast the Preserve and Transcend off of it. So I'm going to put the Descendant back in my deck since there's another one in there if I want to grab it off of bonds, while also putting a red back in my deck, which is nice to tutor out. Then when we Transcend, our chest is going to give us an extra resource. Thank you. Now I'm going to activate Zen with the second Chi that we just made, creating a Tiger token in hand and searching out a red bonds. Attack with the first Tiger, naming it a Gust Wave. Now I can attack with the Lives Bond, banishing the bonds out of my graveyard, searching another one out of my deck. Opponent takes the 4 down to 32. Attack with the second Tiger for 1 now, thanks to Shukos, and naming it Gust Wave again. They take it down to 31. Bonds is live again, so attack with the bonds for 4, banishing the Descendant from grave, and searching 1 from my deck. Opponent also takes that down to 27. Now I attack with the Descendant for 3. They take it down to 24. Blue 100 for 1. They're on 23. Stick him. Pause. They're on 21 now. I can attack with the Tiger, naming it Open the Center. Open the Center! This turns the blue Flusterfist in my hand into a fucking Salt the Wood. It's so good. So blue Fluster comes in after that for 8, and then we still get an Arsenal. So technically, this ended up being a 4-card 25 off of 3 blues and a shift. Fucking insane. Oh, shifts is so good. Open the center, Fluster. Oh. But yeah, we passed to them with a massive life lead now. So over on their turn, they kept a lot of cards, so they must have a good one. They play a cash in, into a runner for 6, go again. But just look at my deck, man. Just look. Like, it's hard to realize at first because his hands look so awkward when you haven't played with this deck enough. But these are fucking bombs, bro. So I'm not blocking shit. Take 6, down to 26. They attack with a hot streak next. I block with my boots because I want that tiger token for this turn. They Blade Runner it and then swing again for 5. No blocks. They end the swing it. We're on 17. So I see why they didn't block. Really powerful turn from them. Really powerful. For a toddler, my turn, baby. On my turn, I cast Rising Sun, hold priority, cast Sacred Art. It's important that you always do Rising Sun first when you have the option because you can manipulate your hand at instant speed before the effect to properly decide what you want to bottom. So Sacred Art resolves making 2 tigers in my hand. Transcend gives me a chi. My chess piece gives me a resource because I transcended. And all my tigers get +1 this turn. So now I'll let Rising Sun resolve. We draw into an aspect, which is nice. So I'm going to bottom one of the tigers. It's fine, we're not going to draw into it. They're dead before we get there. Rising Sun turns into a chi, making us another resource thanks to our chess piece. Here I'm going to start by activating Zen, creating another tiger in our hand, and searching out a blue Flusterfist. I'm not even sure if this was correct looking back. I just wanted to play this ley line, which buffs the next red, yellow, and blue attack this turn by different amounts. So the Fluster is actually for 5, and I'm pretty sure 5 is the best you could search for. But here we're going to tiger for 1, they take it, then we stick him for 2, they block it with Bodge. Tiger for 3 next, thanks to Stick and Shukos, they block. Tiger for 1 again, they take it. Tiger swipe for 5 thanks to Leyline, which will demand blocks from them. So they give us their armor and a card, very nice. Now the aspect is live, so we're coming for 3, create another tiger token and banish. They take it, then tiger for 1, they take that as well, and end on the Fluster for 5 because of the ley line. So I definitely think we could have played this turn a little bit different, like saving the ley line for Arsenal and searching maybe a second tiger swipe instead of Fluster, which would be slightly less damage, but 4 small blocks from the opponent while setting up another 5-card hand, which I could definitely see probably being the correct line here. But I can't complain with 21 damage with the most random hand I've ever seen, so we'll take it, we'll take it. We actually have to IP this chi, which has left me wondering if I could have played this turn different in order to utilize it that turn. But IPing a chi is actually fine because your chis are literally any card you want in your next turn. And I'll show you. So, okay, over to them. They activate Kasai, attack with the hot streak. I block with the chess piece because game's almost over anyway. Just deny that gold token from them for this turn. Then they attack with the saber. But again, our hand is nuts and I'll show you how. So, no blocks. Take 2, down to 15. They get their second gold. They pass to us. So, back to our turn. I'm going to activate Zen with the chi, making a tiger in hand and searching out a Descendant. Now I'm going to attack with the Descendant, pitching the blue 100 wins. They put a block in front, and then I cast Art of War and the reactions to banish the tiger token we just made from the chi. And that's going to draw us into another bonds and an aspect. Opponent is actually able to cover this up with a take it on the chin, so good job. But now I attack with bonds for 5, banishing another Descendant since I have another bonds in hand. We're going to grab a yellow Descendant here, which is actually good because it turns on our Shukos for the turn. Opponent takes 5, down to 5. Now aspect is live, so attack with that, creating a tiger token and banish. They block it out with armor and a card. We then go Descendant for 3, they block that. We attack with another bonds for 4, banishing a tiger swipe here. And they can see we're just going to tiger token into tiger swipe for the game. Just another fucking 4-card hand, 27 damage, man. Like, this deck is not legal, I swear to God. I swear to God. If you guys have actually played Yu-Gi-Oh! Like recently, it literally feels like you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! With like how the graveyard mechanics and shit works in this deck. It's so much fun, man. Honestly. But yeah, so that's why I wanted to show you the deck tech first and why I'm trying to claim that Bonds is better in Zen than it is in Katsu. But now let's get into the deck. Alright, so we watched the games. Let's get into the actual deck tech. So now all these cards will actually make sense to you now that you've seen the actual gameplay and how insane this deck actually feels and looks. So let's go over everything. As you can see, Zen's hero ability is just amazing with bonds and Descendant really. So if you ever draw into one of them, Zen ability will just let you grab the other one. And yeah, you make some random Crouching Tiger tokens, but I made sure to be able to use these to actually get value in this deck, whether it's through Art of War, whether it's through getting the buff off of Tiger Swipe from it, off of Shuko's. I still run the stick, Kakara I think it's called. Look, I'm just going to call it stick because I don't know how to pronounce that word. But yeah, like really easy to get value out of that Tiger, like sometimes even a full card out of that. So don't just skip over that. But yeah, Zen ability is amazing. As you've probably seen in the gameplay, all the equipment's amazing as well. It's a really big upside that Zen has over Katsu is that you just have 7 block in your equipment. So when you do draw into these big combo hands against the more disruptive matchups, even if they throw a CNC at you and you want to keep your hand, you can. And then not only can you keep it, it's also going to draw you 2 cards. You're going to draw a Chi from your deck as long as you've transcended this game and pitched the Chi, of course. And then you're also going to get that Crouching Tiger, which I already explained. We can get extra value out of these Tigers through like heaps of different things. I already explained it. But yeah, the equipment suite is amazing and it's what gives him the edge over Katsu in my opinion, along with you don't actually have any on hits that you care to hit with. So Katsu, a lot of the times you need your Surging to hit to have a Gust Wave, or you need your Gust Wave to hit to find the bond. So your opponent actually has agency in being able to shut that down from you. Whereas Zen, you just tutor whatever the fuck you want. So I still run the stick as well. I considered the Kodachis, but I think a huge upside with Zen is that you're able to play cards like Blue Descendants, like Blue Bonds, and Blue Shiftings, and your Sacred Art, of course, because you don't need your blues to be 0 costs. You can run all these other ones, and then it also helps with a little bit on getting the value out of the Tiger tokens to make sure we can smooth the gameplay out. Traverse is just insane. This is literally a bodge. Like it's the same thing. It's a bodge, but against anyone. As soon as you block, you get 2 value out of your helmet already, which is very good. And then it's going to let you draw Chi. And that Chi is straight up a tutor in Zen. And if you can, like I said, get the value out of the Crouching Tiger in your hand, which is pretty easy to do, you almost get 3 cards worth of value out of this Traverse. It's like, this card might be the most broken card out of the set. I'm not even going to lie. So yeah, this card's insane. Run this one. You're getting the same value out of your Traverse, if not more, than you are with Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, except you're also getting to block with it. So yeah, you're getting way more. Kasaya, so this was actually one of the main reasons why I first put Descendant in my deck, because I wanted to be able to efficiently use that one resource anytime I had it. And the best way to use it is you can Descendant off of the one resource, and then that makes bonds free. So essentially this one resource can equal 3 free resources plus like an extra card off of the bonds. So yeah, you can really go off with this. It's way better than Tunic. Like I said before as well, we have access to 7 block with this equipment suite. It's not often that I use it for the Zen State token, although it does come up like here and there, but only in the super late game where you can block with it. They have like a second chain link and then you can have a Chi in your hand and you activate it. So you get a little bit of value like that. So that's cool. But yeah, that's the equipment suite. We'll go over the actual cards. As you've seen in the gameplay, Aspects are super nice. Creates 2 bodies that carry these Anthem effects like Art of War and such. It's also itself is a combo card for things like Ancestral Harmony and Bonds of Ancestry to be able to tutor it out. And it is like pretty much one of your best tutors to grab on an Art of War turn. And it's also just a 3 block, 1 card hand, comes in for 3, love it. Be Like Water, this is probably a flex slot. I think the Be Like Waters are good. I've been talking with other people playing similar builds and they think it's trash, but I think that this deck lacks a little bit of power in being able to force your opponents into blocks. So if your opponent doesn't block this, you can pay the 1 to turn it into Surging, which is going to give your Descendant +2, and then pay for the cost of the Descendant. So essentially this is a 1 card 5 if your opponent doesn't respect it. So you can actually punish, which is going to force the blocks from your opponent, which is going to slow the game down, let you build up a 5 card hand, find your right Anthem pieces to put into Arsenal and like give you time like that. 9 bonds, 9 Descendant, so you need all 9. I was running 6 at first and then I realized I play all of them out by turn 3, turn 4, and then I'm out of them. I'm just like, wow, I wish I had blues because even the blue bonds are technically 2.5 with the Shukos, and then same as the Descendants and the Gust Waves. So the blue Descendants have been amazing to turn on your Transcends as well. Also turns on half of your Shukos. And then a big thing with running all rainbow of them is, well, all rainbow of these and 100 wins. 100 wins kind of explains for itself, doesn't it? Like you can play all the 100 wins in a row. But what that allows us to do is it gives us enough rainbow cards to be able to play this Leyline here. And so like this Leyline is a very slept on card, obviously because it's hard to actually utilize this effect fully, but this is a 1 card 6. It's literally a 1 card 6. Your next red attack gets +1, next yellow attack this turn gets +2, and your next blue attack gets +3. So when I first read this, I thought only one of the attacks get plus whatever, but it's actually buffing all 3 colored attacks every single turn. And as long as you can just hit 2 of them, you're gonna get an on-rate card out of this. But it's essentially just filling that gap of extra Anthem effects. Super easy to be able to get all 3 effects out of this and get this to be a 1 card 6 that's a block 3 and a yellow, because we're a tutor deck. We can tutor whatever color and whatever card we want of Zen. Same thing with bonds, as long as we have enough cards in our graveyard. So we can really abuse this Leyline in this list. It's super insane with this whole setup. I think it's one of the big upsides with playing Zen as well. We've got Flusterfists. I showed you in the video. Flusterfist actually has text here. It's very easy. All your shifts turns, just turning on all your bonds, and then your last bonds is going to grab a Flusterfist, and then you give your last tiger the name of Open Center, turning your Flusterfist into Salt the Wounds. So you can get away with no Mask of the Pouncing Lynx and no Salt the Wounds in your deck, and you still have it in your deck. Plus it's just a 1 card 4 that blocks 3, so super easy to get into graveyard, either by playing it with your above rate damage or blocking with it with like its good block rate. So amazing card, amazing. 900 wins. I just want as many combo cards as I can because I do run Ancestral Harmony. I'll get to that when I get to that, but yeah, 100 wins is amazing. It's a nice role player to be able to extend our turns even further. In case we need 2 bonds for something that gets go again. So the 100 wins and the aspects, all combo cards with go again to be able to extend our turns with all these Anthem effects. Tiger Swipe, I recently got put on this one. I thought it sucked at first, but you just need to get good at it. Like I said, it's an extra way to utilize these random Tiger tokens that you would just always have, like almost every turn you just have a random Tiger token. And then essentially, Tiger Swipe just being in your deck, you can pretty much get 2 points of value from that Tiger token, if not more, if you can actually utilize a go again. Turn this into essentially another Flusterfist in our deck. And then also it comes with that same benefit of Be Like Water, where it demands your opponent to block. So forcing your opponent to block is going to slow down their game plan, lets us buy more time in order to set up more 5-card hands like you've seen. And so yeah, Tiger Swipe's been amazing for me. Also, it's just a block 3. It's a combo card, so it goes well with the Ancestral Harmonies, all that nice stuff. Into the Anthem effects, I have them pretty much bricked like this, these ones here. A little 7 for you guys. But yeah, 3 Art of War, 3 Prismatic Leyline, 3 Ancestral Harmony, 3 Shifting Winds, and then the 1 Sacred Art as well. All these cards, I really want to try and find a way to put them into Arsenal and then draw into a 5-card hand and then abuse them. Hopefully you can draw into another one. If you can, then like you probably just win on the spot, as we've seen in the first game. So yeah, Art of War, self-explanatory. This might actually be the best Art of War deck in the game right now because of how you're able to utilize them with the Crouching Tigers in your hand, essentially drawing you an extra card because you're just banishing a card that was like given to you for free. So you are just drawing a straight up extra card. And on top of that, it's also going to utilize the extra Tiger tokens to extend your chain out. So it's very often that you can get like an 8 attack chain. Like that's normal. You get 8 attacks out of it. Art of War just became like essentially a 0 card draw 2 plus 8. Like it's insane. We already talked about Leyline. It's amazing. 1 card 6. Often you do just block for 3. It's probably the worst out of all the Anthem effects. I'd rather Arsenal any of the other ones. But still, it's an Anthem effect, and you can easily get the 1 card 6 out of it as long as you got some bonds. Bonds effects or some cheese. Ancestral Harmony, amazing. This is probably like the main reason why I even lent toward this build at the start, was I was trying to find out the best cards to be able to transcend off the blues. And yeah, it's just Harmony. Harmony is not even close. Harmony can whiff and it'll still be like a 1 card 4 that's a blue and a block 3. And then it turns on your Transcends, which lets you tutor, and then you get to grab Bonds, which is going to let you combo your, like, get more effects out of the Harmony, which guarantees it to be a 1 card 4 almost always. And then if you hit, it's literally a 1 card 6 or like 1 card 10 even. Like, it's insane when it hits. If you don't hit, it's still above rate and better than any other blue options for your Transcend slot anyway. So it feels like every single role that you want in this entire deck. So Harmony's amazing. One of the best, probably second best after Art of War. Third best, I'd say, is Shifting Winds. So you saw how I utilized it. You're making all your tigers named Gust Wave, and then you just have a bonds, recur bonds from graveyard, recur another bonds, and then you end on a Flusterfist and the last tiger named Open Center to end on a Salt the Wound with this card. So that's how I'm abusing this card. It's been amazing for me. Like, yeah, I can't even explain. This card is probably like one of the most fun cards I've played in this entire game. And on top of that, it is just like one of the best cards in like this deck. It's so fun. It's so fun. But yeah, you can also utilize the 2 tigers in your hand doing the Art of War. It's really tricky to play, which makes it feel really rewarding to actually pull off a really big Shifting Winds turn. I love it. So yeah, Shifting Winds as well. Then we got the Sacred Art. I will admit we are a weaker Sacred Art deck compared to the normal Tigers build because we got no Roar of the Tiger, no Head Leads Tail. We just have the basic Art of War as the only buff for the Tiger tokens. And I guess you could say Tiger Swipe if you have the buff, if you do that. But yeah, we have other ways to utilize the Tigers in hand, and the +1, you'll still get the effects out of it. I did the math, you're still getting like 4 points of value out of this card, so it's still good. It still meets the quota for the amount of Transcend cards we need in our deck in order to see them early enough that we can Transcend and make our headpiece live. So definitely still need it, although it's probably the worst Anthem effect in our hand, and often I'll just use it as a blue pitch and not get baited into using it unless it's like a guaranteed really good turn. So yeah, that's Sacred Art. On the top of Transcends as well, I think I have 7 all up. Yeah, I've got 7, and then the Orihon as well. Orihon's really good. It's kind of just a random extender, random blue. It just has the random chance that maybe you draw into it after you Transcend and like have an Art of War. If you see it, drawing 3 cards is definitely better than true to 1 card, like always. So if you have the chi, you can do it. The 4 cost looks awkward, but it's actually not. I got taught that if you Transcend, the Kasaya gives you the 1, so you've got 1 floating, and then the Chi just makes it a clean, like pitch it to this, bang, you just drew 3 cards instead of only had the 2 to 1. You'll always get more value out of 3 cards as opposed to the 1, so yeah, that's why Orion's in there. Really big upside, just extend like crazy wise on top of it just being a blue. And then, yeah, I'm just running 7 of these. I tried to make sure I don't put in the awkward ones where you need to attack. I put in the grains because I wanted 7, not 6, just to like meet the quota, but I didn't want too many other ones that have to target an attack, meaning like I can't go Ancestral Harmony into grains. Instead, I have to do Ancestral Harmony. Now I have to attack. Now I can do my thing. And then like it could get a little bit convoluted in that way. But yeah, so only have 1 of them. Don't have the other one that gives go again. This feels like amazing to me, this 60. Like I said, it's 62 as well. I should point that out. I do think you want to go over because you go through so many cards in this deck that I was fatiguing myself. So yeah, I could honestly see like maybe you're meant to go to like 65 and it's like that's how you're meant to do it because the bonds is going to draw you an extra card every single turn, like all these tutors like your Zen tutors and stuff as well, Art of War just to churn through your deck, Ancestral churns through your deck, like Orihon as well technically, but yeah, I think maybe you could go up to like 65 and just fit extra cards in on top of that. But yeah, this main deck has felt amazing for me. Yeah, I don't really want to go too far into the sideboard because I kind of just threw random shit in there as I was going. I guess I'll quickly talk over it. So the Prism matchup felt fucking dog shit, so I chucked in some 7-power poppers. Yeah, they say that like, oh, if you pop, they just pay 1 to the boots. Yeah. Well, it's still like a 7 or 8 block if you count the life gain. Maybe that's enough space to keep you a nice hand and then blast them back. I have a little bit of a package for Kano, so I've got the Mask of the Pouncing Lynx because you can't block with the Traverse against arcane damage, obviously. And then I bring in Salt the Wound, Tenacity, and then AB2. And then also just 1 Oasis. I'm pretty confused on the matchup. I don't know if it's good or if it's bad. Like, you can randomly kill them, but they can randomly kill you as well. So, yeah, I got the 1 Oasis as the random, like, oh, if I draw this, I'll just win the game. So, that's just in there. I've got the Sink Belows. No Flick Flacks. I found you don't need to block against the Brutes and stuff. So, I just go my normal 62. But the Sinks are for Azalea and Azuri. Not for Nu. You don't need them for Nu. But yeah, just a little bit of being able to play around like the isolate into disruption or the big dominate attacks from Azalea in order to maybe keep a hand and maybe get a little bit of value here and there. But yeah, they're still pretty tough matchups. So Sync helps out a little bit. Besides that, they just dilute your combo hands and such. Like if you Art of War and draw into a Sync, you like, yeah, nah, it's the worst feeling ever. And then I do have run Pouncing Poles. You need this into the mechs, otherwise T-Bone is going to destroy your whole equipment suite because everything's Blade Break. So yeah, just make sure you run these for mechs. Just leave them there, never pop them, and you can get away with pretty much murder with the with the T-Bones kind of things. But yeah, so that's my list. Like I said, I'll leave it in the description. Have a play around with that. Tell me what you think, and tell me if I missed any cards that should go in here. But yeah, I'm loving this. This is amazing. But sweet. Thank you for watching to the end. I'm outie. Peace.